Hello, everyone. Welcome to everybody's favorite series on my channel, How Much I'm Making in the Military. And since our last video, I've gotten 2 raises. So in the previous video, I was a staff sergeant. So since then, I promoted to technical sergeant, E6, and we also got a 4.5% raise at the beginning of this year. I actually do not know how much I'm making during drill weekends because I've been active since November of last year and will be till May of this year. So I don't get paid for drill weekends. I just get paid my active duty pay. So before we do that, though, some news came out about the raises that we're getting this year. So that 4.5% raise I just mentioned, I've already gotten. So we'll see that on my paycheck here in a moment. Also, there'll be an extra 10% raise for junior enlisted troops, which will kick in April. So just keep that in mind when we're looking at the percentages today and the amounts. So I'm past that. Obviously, I'm not an E4 or below, but those of you that will be coming in, you will be coming in E1 through E3, depending on your college experience and what your contract states. So let's go ahead and hop over to this pay calculator. And like I said, after this, then we'll look at my pay stub. So let's just take a look to see what I would be getting on a drill weekend if I wasn't on active orders right now. And let me... Actually, no, sorry. Reservist, that's what we're looking for. Reserve and guard would be the same, but yeah. Okay, so it would be $554 per month or $6,529 per year. And that's not counting your annual tour. So it's pretty good, right? So let's actually take a scenario for some of you guys who would just be joining. And let's say that you're kind of on the higher end of the ranks here coming into the reserves. So we'll say 2 or less. Okay, so this would be your initial drill pay. Once you get back from basic training. If you're in the reserves, we do have something called DNTF flight. So that's like it's like a DEP program leading up to when you go to basic training. So you go there and you actually drill with your student flight, and they teach you how to march. They teach you rank structure, reporting statements, things that you would need to know in basic training. So they just kind of work with you to get you ready, but you are getting paid for those weekends. So starting out, you would, if you're coming in as an E3, you'd be getting $331 per weekend. But then again, guys, take this into account that you'll get that extra 10% after April. Okay, so let's say that you're in basic training, and then how much you're going to make in basic training. So this is your base pay. So your base pay is taxed. So you would be coming in at $2,484. But if you have a home, or you're renting an apartment or something like that, you should be able to also get housing allowance. And I'll just put in my zip code because I live in Nevada. So it's going to be different everywhere, obviously. So places like Southern California are going to be much higher than Idaho, for example. And let's say you have dependents. So that is either you have children and or are married. So if you add in dependents, it raises up your BAH rate. And then you also get your subsistence allowance. I don't know if you get that in basic training, actually, because they give you food. So we'll just leave that off for now. If you do have kids and or a family, after the first month, you'll get family separation pay. So we can tack that on. So you can see for your allowances, those are not taxed. So the only thing you're taxed on is this $2,484. This $2,230 is tax-free. And... yeah, I guess we don't really need to add anything else. So that just gives you guys an idea of how much you would make in basic training and tech school. And then let's say you get back from tech school and you've been in for a little bit, you're an E4 and you're over 2 years in and you go on active duty orders. So this is what you would be getting after at least 2 years in and you're an E4. So you'd be making $5,122 per month. And again, only $2,892 of those are taxed. And then your drill pay, and I'm going to put a link to this calculator too, so you guys can check it out yourselves, put in your own zip codes and your own scenarios that you're thinking of. So, okay. So if you are an E4 with over 2 years of experience, then you could be making up to $386 per drill weekend. And then if you add in the extra 10%, that would put you over $400. Pretty good, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at my pay stub. So this is my active duty pay stub, or at least my most recent one. And this is what I'm making right now. So this is my amounts that are pre-taxed and pre-deductions and everything. So my basic pay is $2,040.30. When you are on active orders, you're getting paid on the 1st and the 15th of every month. Sometimes it's a little bit sooner than that. It depends on the holidays and if it falls on like the weekend and situations like that. So basic pay $2,040, subsistence $232.88, again tax free, and BAH also tax free $1,125. So this is the amount I'm getting every 2 weeks, $3,398.18. And then my deductions, again, we covered this in the last video, but we have our taxes. SGLI is your life insurance. So mine is $500,000. And for your spouse, it is $100,000. And then TSP is your thrift savings plan. So that's like your 401k or your deferred compensation. And after you've been in it for a little bit, the DOD will actually match up until a certain amount. So I just put whatever the DOD match was. I have it in another video. I think it was like 4 or 5%. So that comes out of every one of my paychecks as well. And then they match that. And then after all of those deductions and taxes, I am ending up with $2,929.24. And then I also get a little bit extra because I get pay differential and military leave pay for my civilian job. So this month I'm actually getting paid double because I'm getting my civilian job and my military pay. But then the months outside of that, I get the difference between my basic pay, just my basic pay, and the military. And then also you subtract that amount from what I make on my civilian side, and then my civilian jobs pays me the difference. So to say, for example, I made, let's say $5,000 a month at my civilian job. I'm trying to think offhand how much I make, but let's just say, for example, it's $5,000. Then every 2 weeks I would be getting $2,500 at my civilian job. So because this is less, I would be getting $460 every 2 weeks from my civilian job to make me whole. But like I said, this month I'm getting paid double. So I get my full civilian pay plus my military pay, which is nice. And the reason for that is I work in the public sector for the local government. So you guys may want to take a look. I have another video talking about some of the benefits of working in IT in particular for the local government. And that's one of the benefits, at least in my area, is that you get military leave pay and military pay differential. All right, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider giving this video a like. Please also consider subscribing to the channel. Catch you all in the next one very soon.